Let's get into some action. Welcome back to Writer's Theory. I'm James Winterthorn, and this is the 64th writing session for my attempt to write a novel in 90 days. I say 64th writing session, so 64th day writing. And yesterday we left off where I had set the stage for the last action push of the story. And so today we are getting into that action, and we're going to see how well I describe a big action sequence. And I will go through what I'm attempting to do while I write this scene out. And you'll see how I write action, at least during the first draft. So let's get right into it. We're going to pick up right where we left off yesterday and see the first part of day 64. Yes, I didn't waste any time. I just picked up right in this particular day, just right into gunfire. And generally when I'm writing action, I know I've talked about this in previous videos, that I like to work in smaller mini scenes or in beats of action. So I have in a couple paragraphs, what is that character attempting to do in that moment? Does he achieve that goal? Then what do we do? Like, what are the consequences? So, like, what's the desired action? What was done? And what was the result of it? And then, of course, trying to keep description high along the way. And so here I'm really just trying to keep the excitement up, trying to make it as realistic as I think it might be. I mean, I've never been in a fight like this, so I don't know how accurate this is, like in terms of how it feels. But I wanted to have it be intense and uncertain and a little scary as well. So when I'm doing a little bit of research there, or thinking things through. Yeah, so I want to keep the flashing of the weapons being a consistent image. And I wanted like there to be good sensory descriptions too. So it not just being that there's flashes of gunfire and horses and men crying out. I wanted them to smell the burned powder in the air and all of the potential sensations that you might experience be part of the story, part of the description. I find when I tend to write scenes like this that I tend to rush through them. I read in the comments, and I completely agree, way back in chapter 3, that scene in the very beginning where they're attacked, where Mercer's army group is attacked, is maybe a little too short, and it could be developed more. And I have a feeling that this is going to have the same feeling. While I'm drafting, that's okay. I just want to get the story out, get it established, and then I can always come back later in the story, later in my process, and develop this scene more, because it's really it's very quickly happening. There's a lot that's happening for how much time we're reading the story. So let's get back to the rest of day 64 and just see how well I did. So I wanted him to start having one of these dark, like supernatural moments as well. But this particular moment was something I got from the chapter outline, and and having part of the outpost explode, and like, well, that's pretty exciting and scary, and what's happening, and that gave me a lot to work with as well. So the eastern wall there, I think they're the southern wall, um, blowing up wasn't part of my original plan, but I liked it and I rolled with it, and I think it worked for me here. And it gave me direction for what the other characters might be doing. So I'm just trying to follow each of the characters from Mercer's perspective, just to keep track of them, and advance the story as well, so we know what each one of them is doing. But since we're seeing this from Mercer's perspective, we obviously can't know the things that he doesn't know. And so here I wanted there to be a moment, an encounter with Mercer and Garrett directly. I know that I didn't say Garrett's name, but tall, wiry man. Back from the previous chapter, we know that to be Garrett. So I did want there to be an interaction between the two of them in this sequence, and we'll obviously pick that up tomorrow. But for this day's writing, I achieved everything I wanted to. It was exciting, lots of things happening, lots of uncertainty, and lots of action. But like I had mentioned earlier, I think this would be a time to come back and really focus on these events and see what are some techniques and some ways that I can develop this more and make it more impactful and tell more of the story here, instead of just rushing through and we get a couple pages of action when we've been building up to this moment for chapters, right? We don't want it to end too quickly. So that will be something I will definitely come back and look at during the editing phase. So right now, let's do today's line of the day. He took a deep breath of cooling night air and spent sulfur. He felt the concoction of gunpowder and anticipation pump through his veins and feed the base nature of his core. So this was, I've been developing or working on this theme of Mercer having this crazy, almost supernatural feelings or experiences throughout the story. And I wanted there to be a bit of that happening during this sequence as well. And so I pulled this line out because it reflects my attempt to do that. So that's why it's today's line of the day. We're still right in the middle of the action here. Certainly didn't wrap anything up with this writing session. So tomorrow, we're going to pick up right where we left off here and see exactly what happens in this scene. I currently have Mercer stalking two people that just came through the gates. Maria is gone to help with the explosion because we know that Calm Watcher was in the tower when it fell. And Fireheart is off doing Fireheart stuff. We don't know. So lots of uncertain things happening, and lots of excitement and danger. So we're going to pick up with that tomorrow. If you want to see where this excitement goes, please like and subscribe, and I will share that with you tomorrow. Schmaction.